keep it going for my friend Abdallah. What do you think, Mom? Accurate representation of a therapist's office?
Well, you know, how do you feel about that, honey?
Oy! All right, we've got one more comedian for you guys tonight. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope you've enjoyed this show. I know I have. Please come to the last show, the last open mic next week, same time, same place, hosted by Jessica Ensley. We've got one more comic, one more friend, one more roommate. It's Ryan Gabos.
Thank you. Give it up for all the comedians, please. I'm very sick, so, you know, give me a break if the jokes aren't funny. Man, yeah, the Humans versus Zombies kids. Man, as they were walking out, the kid who kept getting on his cell phone like it wasn't a problem, was like, it's a flip phone, first of all, which is good, because he's like 6. And he shuts it and he screams like, "You all better be ready to go out in a blaze of glory. There's hundreds out there. We'll rendezvous at the stand-up show. We're gonna interrupt them." Fuck. I hope they get killed for real. I don't care. I don't know, let's get down to brass tacks, you know? Louis Armstrong, great horn player. Who said you should sing? Like, at the studio, he finished up a sesh and packed up his trumpet and was like, "Okay, I'll see you later. Another day, another dollar." And then he shut the door and the producer was like, "He should sing. You know how he sounds like a frog with permanent laryngitis? He should sing." Satchmo. Weird nickname, you know? So I've been having terrible allergies as the weather's been getting nicer, and I'm terribly fearful of, this just happens to me sometimes, I've been being very careful as I emerge from the shower because, you know, we all blow our nose in the shower, whatever, goes down the drain. But it's happened to me a few times in the past week where I've just stepped out and I'm drying myself off, and there's like a deposit of snot on my hip that just somehow rim shots, like, whoa, ricochet from my nose to my hip or some other, it's like my naked utility belt. Yeah, I got some boogers, here you are. They're attached to my skin. I've got a story about, well, I'm not gonna reveal, we'll get there. I worked at a bar over the summer in Queens, New York, and part of my job was to be a delivery boy. They made food and, you know, like the surrounding streets, like high rises, people would order this food. And so I get this order for like, you know, say we're on like 51st Boulevard, and then this order is for like 93rd Boulevard. So like I do the math in my head and I was like, oh, do I have to bike that far? And I like looked it up I was so concerned I looked it up on Google Maps. I was like, yeah, man, that's miles and miles and miles. So, you know, whatever, I put on the poncho, it's raining. And and I bike out there, and I get to this place called the Foundry, and it looks like a venue. So I walk in, and it's a really luxurious wedding going on. And I have 2 steaming hot plastic bins of ribs that someone ordered to this location. And so I like, you know, this family, you know, they're taking photos, like I walk in as they're taking photos, and you know, I wait until they're done, and I ask like some, you know, I asked some busboys around. I was like, hey, so this is a wedding going on, would any chance this isn't catered at all? And he was like, no, there's a lot of food here. They're very rich, the family getting married. There's a lot of food. I was like, all right, well, someone ordered food. And so immediately the matriarch comes in, and she's like dabbing caviar from her lip with a Kleenex, and she's like, who is this sweaty boy with the plastic bags? And I was like, oh, it's someone ordered food here. And she said, Roquefort. Her husband was a type of cheese. And Roquefort is summoned, and he says, what, dear? What is it? What's the sweaty peasant boy? And they shoo me out of there. They're like, no one ordered ribs. Please, peasant, get out of here. So I leave, and I was like, oh, man, what's going on? And as I was leaving, one of the waiters tipped me that they were shooting a movie in the back lot, and they may have ordered it to that location. So I go to the back lot. There's this dude set up with this table with just like a bunch of cheese balls, and he's like, yeah, if they want a snack, just pop in a cheese ball. And he's like, yeah, so someone probably ordered food there. They're on break, so go ahead. And so I just keep going like further and further in. All these production assistants are like, yeah, I don't know, not us, keep going. Like, Gerard Depardieu could be back there, and like they're just letting me in because I'm sweaty and holding plastic bags. And so I, finally get all the way to the back, and they're just like, oh yeah, the break room's right there, the star's in there, so he might have ordered something. I walk in, and I'm so frustrated right now because like no one has answered, no one wants this food, and I walk in, and I'm just pouring with sweat, and I'm holding these ribs that aren't even eatable anymore, and Cal Penn Kumar from Harold and Kumar is sitting on a sofa texting, and he looks up, and I said, did you order ribs? And he said, and I walked out. I didn't want an autograph or anything. I didn't give a shit. So I walked out, and I keep walking out. All these PAs are just like, oh, so did you find anyone? I was like, nope, I'm still holding the food. And I get to the cheese ball guy, and he was like, hey, no luck? I was like, nope. And he's like, did you see our star, though? I was like, yeah, Cal Penn. And he said, Kumar. No, I get it. That's why I called him by his actual name. I understand. So I walk out, and finally, there's a cell phone number that you can call, and so I was like, damn it, I have to resort to this. And I was like, listen, this address you gave me, she was like, wait a second, did you go to the foundry? The wedding? Okay, meet me outside, please. And so I go to the wedding, the front of the wedding, and I'm gonna say that she looks like someone who's eaten a lot of ribs. She comes out in she's like a bridesmaid, and she's like, okay, so you have the ribs, let's keep this. Like, she has a little cloak to smuggle in the ribs to the wedding. And she said, so did you bring the 2 ginger ale sodas? And I said, yes, and I gave them to her, and she said, what about the cups of ice? And I said, you're at a wedding right now, there's no ice there. And she said, yeah, I really would have appreciated the ice. So I said, here's your receipt, please sign. And she did not tip me. Good night.